Hi, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about a Reddit post that a friend of mine brought to my attention, essentially asking me how someone with such powerful UMAs and a 99% win rate could possibly lose in the Gemini Cup finals. And upon looking at this a little closer, I see why they got confused because they are talking about this 99% total win rate here, as well as the number one comment being, could you believe that I failed a training at 1%? Which both of those are very misleading because the chance of this person winning the Gemini Cup finals, regardless of whatever else we see here in this post, is not true. The chance of winning any champions meeting, Group A finals in graded league is never 99% because so many things can go right or wrong for you, as well as right or wrong for your opponent, which makes the outcomes incredibly complex and by nature unpredictable. So let's look a little bit at this gold ship here, which we can see the one thing I want to highlight is 354 wit. That puts your chance of activation somewhere in the neighborhood of 70-ish%. So, you need to have a win condition in any rate in Uma Musume. And if your win condition is only 70%, the best possible chance you have of winning is 70%. But I do concede that this 1200, 1200, 1100 gold ship is very strong, especially since gold ship was the strongest Uma in the last champions meeting. The way that gold ship's ult works, and it works so consistently, made her really tough for other Umas to compete with. We also see this is a long S Uma, which is important as well. That adds a very significant amount of speed to any Uma. And I know we have a really good win rate here for this Uma, but remember, a lot of these were farmed probably in the earlier rounds of the champions meeting. So the competition is much less fierce in those earlier rounds and is not going to be indicative of your chances to winning in the end. As we all know, you only get one singular shot in the final round of a champions meeting. And again, here we see a very good Narita Taishin that has stats that I don't think I could get if you gave me unlimited TP for a month, because 1200, 1200, 900 is wild. We do also only have 346 wit, which again puts the 70%-ish chance on Narita Taishin, who has a little bit less of a consistent ult than the gold chip, but we also see we have that long S here and that really, solidest win rate. But we do see the power of consistency here with this only having a 24% win rate and this one having a 72% win rate. So that to me just highlights how good gold chip was in the last champions meeting. Very, very strong and incredibly consistent. And we can see here on the final round, we had a Daiwa Scarlet stealing the show, which is actually not surprising in the slightest because Daiwa Scarlet has an ult that is perfect for stealing the show from the whales. As we can see here, anytime Daiwa Scarlet is in the same area code as the other aces in a race, if she's in front, you have a chance of winning towards the final leg of the race because her ult is very powerful. And, sometimes the other aces that are coming up, they have a little bit more risk. And if all else is even, you have a much higher chance of winning with your Daiwa Scarlet. So now let's talk a little bit about the way the wit would have impacted this. And here we have my favorite tool for Uma Musume, the blank Google spreadsheet. What I want to highlight here is the importance of activating your win conditions in a race in Uma Musume. So if we take the 0.7% chance to activate a skill in the last champions meeting, that was frequently straightaway spurt. It's such a powerful skill, and that's why the two top picks for that champions meeting were both end closers. So if we don't activate that skill, our chance of winning is immediately much lower than 99%. In fact, it's probably 0.7. Even if you have the best stats for those, I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption. But let's say you're also fighting another Uma who can get something to activate, or maybe you need 2 skills to win because the competition is really fierce in your lobby. So you would have to factor that in as well. So you take that and then you times that by 0.7 as well. And you can see we get down to just about a coin flips chance. So we had 2 aces who were very good, probably had a solid chance of winning, but if they both roll low, their chances of winning are 2 coin flips. So this is much lower than 99% and highlights that you should just be, playing for the most important thing in Uma Musume, and that is, we go here and then we do this, having fun. That is the number one thing to do in the champions meeting. As long as you get the distance aptitude to S and you get reasonable stats, it's all about how things can go. And that is the final point here I want to make for this is, as demonstrated by this piece of AI slop, is anything can happen in a horse race, right? It even happened in our own race. If we look at how things panned out, we can see here in our Gemini Cup finals that our Narita Taishin, which was really, really solid, got beat out by both this Narita Taishin and this gold ship, who also lost to our incredibly underwhelming gold ship. Our gold ship here is the number 6 favorite. And remember, at least one of these other Umas in the lobby was my debuffer. So that puts this gold ship that won the race in the bottom quartile of aces that were participating in this particular run. We can also compare our Narita Taishin here, which has 1100 long S, encroaching shadow, as well as a Simbali Rudolph ultimate, to the Narita Taishin that we lost to right here. Comparable stat lines for sure, but doesn't have the long S and doesn't even have encroaching shadow. We had significantly more speed, especially when you factor in the green that we had, and we still lost to this Narita Taishin because that's just how probable it is to have a surprising result in Uma Musume. The way skill activations work, anything can happen. So I hope you enjoyed our video. And if you have any questions or concerns about what you should be doing for the next champions meeting, let me know. I'm going to be putting out some more videos about how to make some parents, as well as how to make any particular Oshi a valuable contender in your team. We know that here on Team Razor-san, we're all for the queen herself, King Halo. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.